So you've heard of Bitcoin, right? It's the king of crypto, the one that started this whole digital money revolution. But then you open a news app or scroll through social media and you're hit with a tidal wave of other names. Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, Dogecoin, and thousands of others. It can feel overwhelming. It's like trying to learn a new language, while the dictionary adds 1,000 new words every single day. What are all these other cryptocurrencies? Do we really need this many? Are they just cheap Bitcoin knockoffs? Or is there something more going on? If you've ever felt that wave of confusion, you are in exactly the right place. In this video, we are going to demystify the entire world of altcoins. And we'll do it in simple, everyday language. No confusing jargon, no overly technical nonsense. By the end of this video, you won't just know what an altcoin is, you'll understand why thousands of them exist. Before we can make sense of the alternatives, we have to start with the original. Let's ground ourselves in what we know, Bitcoin. Launched back in 2009 by the mysterious creator Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoin was a complete game changer. It was the world's first truly decentralized digital money. For the very first time, we had a way to send value directly from me to you, anywhere on Earth, without a bank, a credit card company, or a government standing in the middle. The core idea was simple but profound. Create a new kind of money that was secure, transparent, and beyond the control of any single person or group. The magic behind it is a technology called a blockchain, which is essentially a public ledger of every transaction ever made. This ledger is copied and spread across thousands of computers globally, making it incredibly difficult to hack or cheat. Over the years, Bitcoin has really settled into its primary role, being a store of value. The best analogy is digital gold. Gold is valuable because it's rare and trusted, but you don't use a flake of gold to buy your morning coffee. In the same way, Bitcoin's value comes from its scarcity. There will only ever be 21 million coins, and its rock-solid, battle-tested security. Its main job is to be valuable, secure money, and it does that one job incredibly well. But what happens when one single job isn't enough? That singular focus is Bitcoin's greatest strength, and it's also the massive limitation that created an opening for thousands of competitors. That limitation leads us directly to the next chapter of the crypto story. Imagine the very first car ever invented was a huge, heavy, super secure armored truck. It would be revolutionary for moving gold bars safely. But what if you wanted to go fast, or go off-roading, or carry 20 people? That one armored truck would be useless. It was purpose-built for one thing, security. That's a perfect way to think about Bitcoin. As brilliant as it is, it wasn't designed to do everything. As developers started dreaming about what else blockchain technology could be used for, they kept bumping up against Bitcoin's fundamental limits. First, there's speed. The Bitcoin network can process only about 7 transactions per second. For comparison, Visa handles thousands in that same time. When a lot of people try to use Bitcoin at once, the network gets congested. Transactions can take a long time to go through, and the fees can get surprisingly expensive, making it completely impractical for small, everyday purchases. Second, and this is the big one, is Bitcoin's lack of programmability. Its programming language was kept simple on purpose, designed to do one thing and one thing only: process transactions. You can't use it to create complex applications or automated agreements. It's like having a calculator that can only add and subtract. You're not going to run Photoshop on it. Developers had much bigger dreams. They didn't just want digital money, they wanted to build new digital economies. This created the problem. Bitcoin proved that secure, decentralized value was possible, but its design was too rigid for the explosion of ideas that came next. So the stage was set. The world needed sports cars, SUVs, and city buses, not just the armored truck. And that demand is what finally unlocked the floodgates. And this is where altcoins make their grand entrance. The word altcoin is simply a combination of alternative and coin. An altcoin is quite literally any cryptocurrency that is not Bitcoin. That's it. From the second biggest crypto down to the most obscure token launched 5 minutes ago. If it's not Bitcoin, it's an altcoin. The first wave started appearing around 2011. Many were just copies of Bitcoin's code with a few small changes. a process called a fork. A famous early example is Litecoin, which branded itself as the silver to Bitcoin's gold. It was designed to be faster, but at its core, it was still very similar to Bitcoin. But the real explosion happened when new projects decided they didn't want to be a slightly better Bitcoin. They wanted to be something else entirely. They saw blockchain not just as a tool for money, but as a foundation for building anything you could imagine. These new projects introduced different ways for the network to agree on transactions. While Bitcoin uses an energy-intensive system called proof of work, many altcoins use a more efficient alternative called proof of stake. This was a huge innovation, proving there were many different ways to build a secure blockchain. In short, the thousands of altcoins exist because developers are constantly asking, what if? What if we had a blockchain that was faster, more private? What if it could run entire applications or connect to real-world data? Every single altcoin is an attempt to answer one of those questions. But then one project came along that completely changed what a blockchain could be. That project was Ethereum. Launched in 2015, Ethereum is the reason the word altcoin means so much more than just another version of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin was the revolutionary armored truck, Ethereum was the invention of the entire factory. A factory that could build any kind of vehicle you could possibly imagine. It's the second biggest cryptocurrency and the undisputed king of altcoins, but calling it just another currency completely misses the point. Ethereum's brilliant innovation was the smart contract. Now, this isn't a legal document, it's a program that lives on the blockchain. It's just a piece of code that automatically carries out an agreement when certain conditions are met. No middleman needed. The classic analogy is a vending machine. A vending machine is a dumb contract in the real world. You put money in, the condition, you press a button, the condition, and the machine automatically gives you a snack, the execution. There's no cashier, just automated logic. Smart contracts do the same thing, but for almost any digital agreement imaginable. Think about flight insurance. A smart contract could be linked to a reliable flight data feed. If that data shows your flight was delayed by more than 2 hours, the contract automatically sends the insurance payout to your digital wallet. No paperwork, no phone calls, no waiting for a company to approve it. It just happens. This single idea turned Ethereum from just a cryptocurrency into a, quote, world computer. Developers could now use its blockchain to build decentralized applications, or dApps, for pretty much anything. Suddenly, whole new industries started emerging, like decentralized finance, DeFi, where you can lend and borrow without a bank, and NFTs, which allow you to prove ownership of unique digital items. Ethereum's creation was the single biggest catalyst for the altcoin explosion. It proved a blockchain could be a programmable playground. For the first time, developers everywhere had a platform where they could build financial systems without banks. In fact, many of today's other top altcoins, like Solana, Cardano, and Avalanche, are direct competitors, all trying to do what Ethereum does, just faster, cheaper, or with different features. They're all in a race to become the primary stage for the next version of the internet. Okay, let's pause for a second. With thousands of altcoins out there, I know what you might be thinking. How on earth am I supposed to keep track of all that? The good news is you don't have to. The trick is to stop thinking about them one by one and start thinking in categories. Just like you have cars, trucks, and motorcycles, we can group altcoins by what they are trying to do. Here are the main buckets you'll run into. 1. Platform coins. Like we just talked about, these are the base layers. The digital factories like Ethereum, Solana, and Cardano. Their job is to provide the foundation for other developers to build applications on. Their main coins, like ETH on Ethereum, are what you use to pay for transaction fees, often called gas fees, to get anything done on that network. 2. Stablecoins. This is one of the most important and practical categories. Stablecoins are designed to avoid the wild price swings of crypto by being pegged to a real-world asset, usually the US dollar. Coins like Tether, USDT, and USDcoin, USDC, are designed to always be worth $1. They act as the stable backbone of the crypto economy, letting people move in and out of volatility without having to cash out to a bank account. 3. Utility tokens. Think of these like tokens at an arcade or in-game currency. You don't buy them as an investment in the arcade itself. You buy them because you need them to play the games. Utility tokens give you access to a specific product or service within a project's ecosystem. For example, Filecoin, FIL, is a token you use to pay for decentralized data storage. Chainlink, LIK, is a token used to pay for services that connect blockchains to real-world data, like stock prices or weather information. These tokens have a specific job inside their ecosystem. 4. Governance tokens. In a decentralized world, there's no CEO calling the shots. So who makes the decisions? The community does by using governance tokens. Holding these tokens gives you voting rights on the future of a project. Things like new features or changes to the rules. It's like owning stock in a company that actually gives you a direct say in how it's run. 5. Meme coins. And then there's this category. Here we're talking about Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, and their many lookalikes. These were often created as a joke based on an internet meme and typically have no underlying technology or real-world purpose. Their value is driven almost entirely by community hype, social media trends, and speculation. While they can go on spectacular runs, they are incredibly risky. When you break it down like this, the picture gets a lot clearer. It's not just a chaotic sea of Bitcoin clones, but a diverse digital economy full of specialized tools built for different jobs. If this is starting to make sense and clearing things up for you, do me a small favor and hit that like button. It tells the YouTube algorithm that this was helpful and lets me know we're on the right track. But before you get too excited about all this innovation, there's something beginners absolutely need to understand. So we've got platform coins, stable coins, utility tokens. It all sounds pretty organized, right? It sounds like a thriving digital economy. And for a small handful of projects, it is. But now I have to give you the other side of the story. The one that most people don't talk about until it's too late. Are you ready for some hard truth? The vast majority of these altcoins fail hard. While thousands of coins exist, a huge number of them end up as ghost chains with no activity, or worse, they were just scams from the very beginning. The crypto graveyard is enormous. There are a few key reasons for this brutal failure rate. First, there's too much noise and not enough substance. It has become incredibly easy to launch a new token. This has led to a flood of projects that are just slight variations of something that already exists or that don't solve a real problem. They are a solution in search of a problem, and without a unique purpose, they simply get lost in the crowd. Second, flawed economics. The term for a coin's supply and demand structure is tokenomics. Many projects launch with only a tiny fraction of their total coins in circulation. Then, over time, huge amounts are unlocked and given to early investors and the founding team. This flood of new supply creates massive selling pressure that can crash the price, even if the technology itself is sound. Third, the hype train runs out of steam. The crypto market moves in cycles and loves a good narrative. 1 month, it's all about AI tokens. The next, it's blockchain gaming. Many projects are built just to ride a temporary trend. Once the hype dies down and social media moves on to the next shiny thing, the project often collapses. And finally, there are the outright scams and quote-unquote rug pulls. This is where anonymous developers launch a project, use social media to hype it up, get people to invest their money, and then simply disappear, taking all the funds with them and leaving the token worthless. This is why the altcoin space, as exciting and full of opportunity as it is also a minefield. The big success stories are the exception, not the rule. So, after all that, why do thousands of cryptocurrencies exist? It's because Bitcoin, for all its genius, left the door wide open for innovation. It's because developers saw that blockchain technology could be so much more than just digital money. It could be the bedrock of an entirely new, decentralized internet. Altcoins are the result of that vision. They are the experiments, the upgrades, and the specialized tools being built to test the limits of what's possible. To put it simply, altcoins are any crypto other than Bitcoin. They exist to do things differently, to be faster, to be programmable, to be stable, or even to give power back to the users. The best way to think about it is this. You have Bitcoin, which is solidifying its role as digital gold, a secure, decentralized store of value. And then you have everything else, the altcoin ecosystem, a chaotic, high-stakes laboratory where thousands of projects are all competing to build the future. Most of these experiments will fail, just like in any cutting-edge field. But the ones that succeed could fundamentally change how we use money, technology, and the internet itself. The key isn't to be overwhelmed by the sheer number of them, but to understand the why behind them. Once you can see the different jobs these projects are trying to do, you can navigate this space with a whole lot more clarity. If this video helped you make sense of the wild world of altcoins, make sure to subscribe for more simple, jargon-free guides to crypto. And now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below with the one altcoin category you find most interesting, or the biggest question you still have. I read every single one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.